Yo, yo, yo. What's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Lamborghini Preem, back once again talking shit. Talking this boxing shit, I should say. And as always, make sure you go check out my official site, hustlegameboss.com. Check out all the exclusive fly shit on there. In addition to that, my new albums, both of which I'm extremely excited about, The Bachelor Life and the God album. Both of them will be finally released this year, thankfully. I've been really putting in a lot of work to make these shits really classics. They both really mean a lot to me. They're gonna showcase my growth as a lyricist and as an artist, just overall. Show you the next level of my creativity and the next level of my journey. You know what I mean? Not only as a musician but also as a man. You're gonna see a lot of positivity, a lot of positive growth, a lot of real soulful music. And when I say soulful, I just mean music from the soul. You know what I mean? I don't mean, anything other than that. Just music from the soul, baby. So if you appreciate G shit, you're gonna appreciate me, man. And I'm really, really excited to have you guys check out these records. But right now, that's not the focus. The focus is one hell of a fight between my personal favorite female fighter right now in the game, Franchon Crews, the heavy hitting diva. Love Franchon Crews. Versus Alejandra Jiminez or Jimenez, you know what I mean? Um, Jimenez came down for this fight from heavyweight, which is crazy when you think about it, you know what I mean? This fight was at 168, you know what I mean? And for her to come down from heavyweight is a hell of an accomplishment. And Franchon Cruz is a natural 168er, so for her to even accept this challenge is definitely one of those things that commands respect and appreciation on a high level. But as it relates to the fight, man, first of all, this is a hell of a fight. Every fight Franchon Cruz is in is a good fight, though. I don't know if you guys follow her career, but if you don't, you should. She's an incredible person, wonderful woman. She is also featured on American Idol a long time ago back in the day. She's just very creative woman, man. I like her style. She make her own outfits, and she even made Clarissa Shields' outfit one time. And that was the person she fought in her pro debut. That was when I became a fan. When I saw that fight with Clarissa Shields, I was like, yo, this chick right here is just as good. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I felt. I felt like personally that fight could have been a draw. You know, I gave Franchon a lot of crews. I mean, not a lot of crews, a lot of props for that fight. I really loved her performance and every performance since, especially the two fights with Maricela Cornejo, especially the first one when she won the title. Like, I just really have a strong appreciation for Franchon Cruz style. But there's a couple things I do want to say about this fight in particular and every fight that's gonna be coming down the pipe for her. Actually, we'll start with Jimenez first. This is gonna be easier to assess her performance. Her performance was stellar. She did not take a step backwards. It seemed like Jimenez was really working, and watching her get past Franchon Cruz's jab to get on the inside was a thing of beauty. Of course, she was taking shots too. Don't get it wrong. She was taking some shots to get inside, but once she figured out how to kind of get in without getting hit or hurt really bad, because Cruz was hurting her a few times too, on the way in, but she was sucked it up and kept coming. So I gotta respect that. But I'm gonna attribute a lot of that to her size advantage because when you that big of a woman and you coming down to that low, well not that low of a weight, but when it's gonna be a huge. It's almost like a Chavez Jr. effect, is what I like to call it. When a guy comes in super huge and super heavy, you know what I'm saying? You know how back in the day when Chavez was fighting at 160, he would look like a damn light heavyweight against those guys that was 160, and this was the same kind of thing. Her size was just it was really amazing to see how much bigger she was than Franchon Cruz. That shit was crazy. And then to see Franchon still hold her own and that shit was even crazier. But my Jimenez had a good jab. Her defense, that peekaboo style, just getting in. I really like that. And personally on my card, I had Jimenez actually winning the fight by 1 round. So But I personally could see it going either way or a draw. Personally, I think that a draw might have been the best way to play it because the first half of the fight, Jimenez wasn't. She was doing what she needed to do to rack up the points, and I believe the second half of the fight is when Crews finally started to come on, but it might have been a little too late. You know what I'm saying? Points wise. I mean, especially when we talking about you in San Antonio. It's a Mexican fighter. That's basically Mexico. So it's it's gonna be you're gonna have to do a lot, a little bit more than you would normally have to do, you know what I mean, to get the same effect. And that's only to be expected. That's not a slight against, San Antonio or the judges or anybody down there at all. It's not that. It's just that, you know, when you're in a certain environment where the fans is all on one side, you know what I mean, they're not necessarily rooting for you like that, like they should be, then you're gonna have to unfortunately put in a little bit more work. Not even put in a little bit more work, but you're gonna have to show a little bit more in the ring as far as scoring points goes. You know, what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but it's true. When you're in that kind of environment, you might land three good shots. Like let's say three good shots land on the your opponent, but the crowd don't move. It ain't no noise. It ain't nothing. And then your opponent barely misses you, and then the crowd just go all crazy and shit like that. That kind of shit can influence judges. It really can. Now I think in this fight, it definitely had some influence. You know what I mean? I've only watched the fight once, so I got to go back and watch it again to get my real assessment. But from the first fight, like I said, a draw would be warranted in my opinion. I don't think anyone clearly took the fight per se on either side. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, I think it should have been a draw. I could see how people had Jimenez winning. I could see how people had Cruz winning though, because it was a couple rounds early in the fight that was either way rounds, and I hate either way rounds because they make the fight that much harder to score. You know what I'm saying? It's really all in what you like. If you're the type of person you appreciate, aggression and coming forward, then maybe you might have scored some of those rounds to Jimenez. And if you appreciate, someone who's actually landing those shots, like really landing heavy shots, and you would appreciate Cruz. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you like. That's why I say in fights like this, it's always better for the draw. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I think it should have been a draw, but even that it's not a draw and it's a win for Jimenez, I believe it should be a rematch, definitely. But as far as Franchon Cruz in the ring for this fight, I didn't like what I saw. Not gonna sit here in front. I did not like what I saw. I have seen Franchon Cruz perform at a much, much higher level than this before. So I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't think it was the event because I feel like she's been in fights that's equally as big or bigger. So I don't think it was that. I don't know. You never really know what's going on behind the scenes. So it could be that. But to keep it a bean, it just I don't know what was going on with Franchon in the beginning. She was just looking flat. I don't know. I don't know. I can't I don't know. She just and stamina wise, got to improve on that. I man, it's just and you know what's crazy is I don't know because at first I was just like, okay, well maybe Cruz didn't take the fight as serious and didn't train as hard. But now that I'm hearing all this about performance enhancing drugs and shit with Jimenez, I'm starting to think, uh, maybe she took the fight seriously as she's supposed to. But when you're fighting a superwoman, shit, what the fuck can you do? You know? And that's kind of nebulous because from one of the interviews I heard from Franchon Cruz or someone as it relates to the fight, I can't really remember. I smoke a lot of weed. I know how I give it up, but I do remember Franchon saying that she requested in her contract for VADA testing for this fight, but that she was not sure exactly how stringent that testing was, or how strong, or how fierce they was doing, or how strict they was about what they was doing. So in my opinion, there's a chance that this woman could have been juicing, and that's why she won, and that would explain why she looks so much more energetic per se, especially throughout the not throughout the late rounds, but especially in the beginning of the fight. Like you really, really could see a clear difference. And I just don't believe that Franchon didn't take this fight seriously. It's not in her character, at least not from what I've seen so far in her career. Everything suggests the opposite of that. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not even gonna acknowledge that no more, because that adds a huge wrinkle. And then when you sit back and think about it, you're like, okay, to come down from 202, I think was her heaviest, down to 168, make that weight comfortable, still have energy, still have all that pop. I mean, it is possible. Don't get it twisted. It is possible. These women are spectacular athletes, but at the same time, it's a few items in this fight that make me need to see a rematch. So I need to see a rematch. That's just the bottom line. And Jimenez, the win wasn't so decisive that it doesn't warrant a rematch. I believe it does. So it is what it is. We can I'm looking forward to it. I believe I saw somewhere on Twitter or something that Oscar said that they're gonna do it again in Cancun sometime in the very near future, and I would love that. I would love to see that opportunity, see that fight get ran back, and I would love to see it on a big card, maybe a Canelo card, because I feel like this fight was damn good and it didn't get the attention that it deserved. So, with that being said, I want to say congratulations to Alejandra Jiminez, and I also want to say shout out to Franchon Crews. Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? You're a warrior. You know, you're one of the best in the game right now. This is boxing. Anybody can have an off night. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? But just like you can fall back, you can come back. And you're going to come back. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't have no doubt that we're going to see Franchon Crews-Dezurn as the 168 world champion again. One more time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, I'm just going to keep it real. I don't think these chicks, skill-wise, are better than her. Same thing with Shields. They just another level. You know what I mean? It's like another level up. It's like for instance, like back in the day, you had Jordan and Magic, and then everybody else. You had Kobe and Shaq, and Kobe and Iverson, better example, and then everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You got LeBron and KD, and then everybody else. It's just they levels on such a high level that it's not that these other guys aren't good. It's just that because they're not on that level, it shows. Like sometimes when you are great among greats, you know what I'm saying, it shows in that way. And so that's why I want to see this rematch, see how it go. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to support Franchon Crews-Dezurn and her husband too. Got a lot of love for him. He's also a very good fighter as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to show some love to them. You know what I mean? Let them know, keep their head up, get back in the game. I mean, this is a test, you know what I'm saying? And when Crews-Dezurn bounces back from this fight, when she does, I'm going to be the first in line to watch that rematch with her and Shields. I really want to see that. I want to see Shields come back to 168 or maybe meet in the middle at 160 or something like that and get that rematch going. But first, Crews-Dezurn got to get this belt back, maybe rack up a couple other wins, and then we can get right to it. Had a super fight, the women's championship super fight. You know what I mean? So until that's done, you know what I mean, I'm on to the next one. I appreciate y'all listening. I'm out this bitch one.